Welcome to the Kevin Dunn Show once again, and we have a very exciting guest with us. We have Michelle Lynch, who's a celebrity stylist. When we come back from the break, we're going to find out more about Michelle and some of the celebrity clients that she's worked with. Welcome back to the Kevin Dunn Show, and we have Michelle Lynch. Michelle, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Delighted to have you on the Kevin Dunn Show.
Thank you for having me.
The celebrity stylist, Michelle Lynch. So how are you doing, Michelle?
I am doing absolutely amazing. It's a great season for me, so I'm doing great.
Okay. You're a celebrity stylist.
Yes.
What does that mean when one says that they are a celebrity stylist?
Okay, well, I'm a stylist and I happen to also style celebrities.
Okay.
So that's just what it means. It means that I have worked with some celebrities along with other people. You know, I dress models, I dress real people for events, and I happen to dress celebrities as well. So that's what it means.
That's what it means, okay.
Yeah.
So what or who inspired you to go into this line of work?
You know, it's interesting. I've always loved fashion as a child growing up, but I had no idea that I would end up doing what I'm doing now, and it kind of all came into fruition. But, you know, I have a couple of mentors that, you know, mentored me along the way, like Jean Murphy, who is a local stylist here in Atlanta, Georgia. But when I reflect back, I remember playing with Barbie dolls till I was 18 years old.
Wow.
And that might have been a sign. I would change them all the time. So that kind of, when I look back at things like that, I'm like, yeah, it was all destined to be. And so it was God revealing his little part of my plan to me even back then, but I just didn't recognize it. Okay,
all right. So how did you actually become a stylist? And where did that actually start?
Well, you know, people ask me that question all the time, and you know, I wasn't sure. I knew I loved fashion, but I wasn't sure what part of fashion I wanted to do. So I wasn't one of those people that say, I want to be a stylist, I want to be a celebrity stylist, and it just happened. I wasn't sure exactly what part of the fashion industry that I wanted to be in. So I took a few left turns. I started off being a makeup artist, and I did that for a while. And then I kind of transitioned into doing hair. And I was like, yeah, it's fun, but I wasn't passionate about it, you know what I mean? And so I was a professional model for years and traveled all over the world doing shows for designers. And as I start getting a little bit older and fatter.
You said that.
I said it, not you. I started thinking about some things that I wanted to do behind the scenes. And often enough, during the shows that I would be in, participate in, the stylist or the producers or the art directors would say, Michelle, could you help me with this? Michelle, could you help me with that? So I kind of just fell into it. And next thing you know, they were saying, well, I won't be here for this show, but Michelle, you can do it. You've done it before.
Wow.
And I was like, but. So it's like one of those sink or swim things. They would trust me to kind of put the show together when they couldn't do it. And voila.
And here we are.
Stylist, that's right. Here we are.
So that's the stylist part of it.
Yeah.
So tell us, how did you become a celebrity stylist?
Well, I was doing shows for a couple of years now, and then Clinton Kelly of The Chew and What Not to Wear came to town, and they were looking for a stylist to do his show, and everybody just seemed to be busy, and it rolled on my lap. And I was like, they were like, do you want to do it? I was like, yes. I did it, and it was just opportunity, and God placing, you know, the right circumstances during the right time in my lap, and I just went full throttle. One of the things that I did to prepare for the show is, and this is what I tell a lot of my students that I speak to, or people who aspire to be a stylist, is research your craft. I read all about Clinton. I read all about what he did, what his eye was. I got in his head. I read his books. I researched.
Incredible.
I did all the homework. I didn't just say, okay, I'm going to do the show. I actually researched what his eye was, connected with that, and I said, okay, I see how he works. I see what he does. I read up on all the magazines. In this business, you have to constantly kind of reinvent yourself and stay on top of what the trends are, what's out there. You can't just say, I like this because I think it looks cute. It has to be a method to the madness. And so I started working with Clinton, and I guess it's been 7 years now, and I'm still on tour with him.
Great.
And working with
you do
him
great
all over
work.
the country. Well, I'd like to think I do.
Okay. You said that when you make up people, what do you just have a format that you follow, or it depends on the person that you're working with, or how do you decide what's going to go best for a particular artist, client?
Honestly, Kevin, that is such a good question, because there is no rhyme or reason, there is no format, because there's different body types, there's different heights, and then you have to know what's on trend, and then you have to know what's actually in the stores, so a lot of my challenge comes, with, okay, I see what's in the magazines and I see what's hot. But do they have that in the stores yet? Because it's always a season ahead. So I have got to stay current with the season and the trends, and it's different for every single person that I do. And every fashion show that I produce, it's different. I wish I could just say, okay, we like this, we're gonna go with this, and this is gonna be it for the season. It doesn't work like that. You have to consider body types. There are different shapes and sizes for women. So what looks good on one might not look good on another. So these are all the things that you kind of have to take into consideration when you're styling someone.
And that was another question I was going to ask you, is as far as some of the challenges you may have. Are those the biggest challenges you have as far as dealing with people with different body sizes, or are there some greater challenges?
Yeah, it can be. There's challenges in every facet of this business. It just depends on what it is. But yeah, when dressing someone, because we all kind of have our own version of what we look like. But what your version is might not be actually the correct version. So that's when it's kind of good to turn to a professional. And then you've got different personalities. For instance, there might be someone who comes to me and she's dressed a certain way all her life. So anything that I select for her or pick out, she's pretty much guaranteed not to like it, because it's like, well, this is not what I normally wear. And I'm like, I know, that's why you're kind of asking me, the professional, to come in. So it's a lot of psychiatry. It's a lot of therapy, and you really get to know people a lot. And I would say probably 50% of my business is being able to connect with the client and the person before even getting to dress them. So a lot of it is inside, internal, and then we get to the external. So when I meet with a client, I kind of like to sit and talk to them and tell them, find out a little bit about them and find out what their favorite color is, what their likes are, what their dislikes. For instance, I might get a client and she's like, well, I don't wear pants. I hate pants, won't wear pants, not gonna wear pants, and I don't like the color blue or yellow or green.
And you have to deal with all
I
of
can
that.
I can see everything condensing into a small box of them telling me what they won't wear. So I have to kind of go through that, dig through that, and make them a little bit more open to trends and fashion and what their body type is. And so we can kind of come to a happy medium. And that's not always easy.
That's very interesting.
Very interesting.
So was this your first career choice to go into this line of work, or was there something else that you may have studied before you went into this?
No, I had no clue. I was going to Arizona State for business marketing. I was going to I was interested in the marketing and the business administration part of a business. And then a girlfriend of mine just asked me to go with her to a model audition, which I wasn't interested in at all. I've always loved fashion, but that was just like, how you kind of dream about that one day. So went with her, and they sort of talked me into auditioning and I was like, I'm totally against this, don't want to do it. I'm in, college, I don't want to do that. And I got up on the stage and they had me walk and they're like, oh, you're wonderful, you're great and all that.
Cool.
And, I am tall.
Okay.
So I said, they were like, you could kind of do this on the side, still go to school, make some money, extra money on the side as a model. And I was like, extra money, that's always interesting. And I do love fashion. So kind of one thing led to another, and that's how I started my career as a model. And then from there, one opportunity just led itself after another. And, for me, all by the divine grace of God, just kind of leading me into, my destiny.
Okay.
So.
All right, Michelle, we're going to have to take a quick commercial break. When we come back from the break, we're going to hear more from Michelle Lynch and some of the high-profile celebrity clients that she's worked with, and we're going to hear about her company. Welcome back to the Kevin Dunn Show, where we have a special guest, Michelle Lynch, who's a celebrity stylist, and now we want to know some of these celebrity clients that you work with.
All right. Well, let me think.
And let us know all of them.
All of them?
That you can think of. I know there's a lot.
There's a lot. Okay, so I've worked with Usher, Bow Wow, Vanessa Williams, Martha Stewart, Tommy Hilfiger, Michael Kors, a lot of the celebrity designers, Ashley Tisdale, and currently working with Clinton Kelly of What Not to Wear and The Chew. And I'm actually his head stylist, and I go around the country working with him because he's the spokesperson for Macy's as the style expert. And I get everything. I get everything in line for him for his shows. So I really, really enjoy it. And a question people always ask me is that is it different dressing celebrities as it is real people? And the answer to that question is yes. So, and the difference is that, celebrities and models, for me, they're very easy to dress because they're all picture perfect and so tiny and so great, and pretty much a brown paper bag looks great on them. It's easier to dress them, whereas real women have curves and shapes, and it takes a little bit more detail in dressing them. But I equally enjoy working with real people just as much as the celebrities. So.
All right. I'm pretty sure you don't charge the real people as much as you charge the celebrities.
No, I don't. And I actually dress the whole. Helped dress the whole cast of Teen Wolf for the 2012 season, and I worked under the costume designer for that, and that was a great experience. You had
a lot of fun? Was it a lot of fun or a lot of hard work or both?
Both.
Okay.
A lot of hard work. There's a lot of hard work that comes with my job, because a lot of people always say, oh, celebrity stylist, that's so great, that's fun, I want to do that, I want to do that. But the hard work that goes into it is what people don't factor in, because, I'm usually the first one at the store, the last one at the store. There's so much homework, there's so much research, there's so many details that go along with having everything absolutely perfect. It takes a lot of, just hard work and dedication and being a detail-oriented person that goes in. You can't just be that person that says, oh, where did I put that? Where did I put that?
Oh,
no, you have to know where things are, and you have to be willing to be the first person on set and the last person on set. So when everybody else gets to go home and they say, cut everything, that's a wrap, you still have maybe 2-3 more hours there to get prepared for the next day of shooting or whatever. So those are the things that people don't really tell you about.
Exactly. So it's true that behind the scenes persons are some of the most important people.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
You were sharing backstage about Lifetime. Could you tell us a little bit about what's going on with the Lifetime channel?
That's new. Along with that, I wrote a couple of shows myself.
Okay.
And one has just recently been picked up, but it's at the very beginning stages. So I'm just excited about the opportunity to be able to present, something to some of the networks. And I'm just praying that it'll come into fruition, because I've worked, long and hard, along with some of my other colleagues on some upcoming new shows. So,
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
And you've worked with a lot of people who are in the industry, and you're so humble, and you realize that your gift comes from God. And I admire you for that.
Thank you.
Back to all of the clients that you work with. Name 2 or 3 who were the most intriguing to you.
That's a good question. Intriguing. What does that really mean? How about interesting?
Okay, we'll do that. We'll go with that. We'll change that. Okay.
Into interesting. It was interesting for me to meet Martha Stewart, because you hear so much about celebrities and how they are behind the scenes, and they might not be the friendliest or anything. But honestly, I am so thankful, and I've never really had a bad experience. Everybody that I've worked with has been very pleasant.
Great.
And I heard that Martha Stewart has like this stern heart, but she was very nice and she was very sweet. And, I just went up to her and just said, "Hi, my name is Michelle Lynch. I'm the stylist on set. Just wanted to introduce myself to you." So, I treat everybody like I would want them to treat me. And, I don't look to them like, oh, they're unapproachable or anything. Sometimes they might be unapproachable, but me, I'm just like, "Hi, I'm Michelle."
Yeah,
so
you're great.
I don't let that stand in my way. I just continue to act as I do, and just keep it going like that. But there's been incidences where things have happened on set and things have gone haywire, and at the last minute I'm like, "Oh my gosh, we got to do this, blah, blah, blah." But I try to always keep a cool head, because I don't have the luxury of losing it on set because something goes awry. I kind of have to keep it together and keep everybody else, my team, together, and continue to make things happen. So, yeah.
Okay, so Martha Stewart, can you give us one more?
Martha Stewart was great and to work with, and I have to say I love working with Clinton Kelly, because I work with him the closest, and we've developed a relationship where now we're friends.
Okay, great.
I can call him and get his advice on anything, and he's just a great person to work with. He's witty, he's funny, he's quick, and he has been so graciously, offered all of his expertise to me, which could better my craft. So I'd have to say those 2 were probably the top 2 most intriguing for me. But there's some people that I aspire still to work with, and I would like to dress, and I know it's going to happen. That's right. So we'll see.
So you are the owner and operator of your own company. What's the name of the company, and tell us a little bit about your company.
So the name of my company is Poshe Productions.
Poshe.
And I've had my company for probably 16 to 18 years, although I'm still 24.
I see. Good 24.
No, I've had my company for over 16 years, and it's Poshe Productions, and it actually has 3 divisions. And the first division is it's a model and talent agency. So what I do is I have scouted around the country for years looking for talented people, whether it be models or actors or kids or anybody that I think has the it factor. And then I kind of take them and maybe develop them a little bit into a product. And then from there, I just make a phone call to my connections all over the country and say, "I've got this great kid, you need to take a look at him." Or, "This girl's beautiful, she fits all the measurements and fits inside the box of being, a top-notch professional model." Or I might have an older person that just shines on stage or in front of the camera, and over 16 years time span, I've made the connections where I can pick up the phone and call somebody, which is so great. I have one child that I found in Peachtree City, well actually 2 kids that I found in Peachtree City that had the it factor, I thought, and the parents were like, "Yeah, we thought so, but we're not one of those parents that are going to pick up and move to LA just to suffice his career." And maybe within a year's time, that's exactly what they did. They picked up and moved to LA and did everything they said they would not do. But when opportunity knocks and when God presents an idea or puts something in your life, sometimes it can't be denied. So never say never. And that's one of my greatest stories. And he ended up doing a movie with Cameron Diaz and Justin Timberlake, which was a big movie. And then my other child did the movie The Campaign with Will Ferrell and Zach Galifianakis. So, you know, and they were right here in Peachtree City. So these are great stories that I think, you know, have made me happy and just, you know, kind of showed me that God is always working in not only my life, but using me as a vessel for other people to follow their dreams, which makes me really happy too.
Well, that's awesome. Michelle, we're just about out of time. It went by
so
fast, so quick.
Did.
May have to bring you back.
Yeah, I'd love to come back.
When you can come back with, I don't know,
to.
there's no telling. You probably end up styling Barack Obama one day.
I hope so. He's on my list.
Okay. Well, like I said, thank you so much for your insight and your information.
Sure.
I'm sure our audience has been blessed by your presence today.
Thank
you. And we're just eternally grateful that you came down to be a guest on the Kevin Dunn Show.
Thank you so much. I'd love to come back.
And we sure will have you back. And thank you once again for watching the Kevin Dunn Show. Have a wonderful evening.